Hi guys, I gotta show you what I found at a yard sale the other day. I don't do yard sales a whole lot, but I definitely do slow down when I come across one to see if I happen to see a guitar neck sitting up, head and shoulders above the rest of the stuff, and I definitely stop. And I found this guitar the other day. It's a Washburn. Let's take a look at it. Alright, so I paid 40 bucks for this guitar. It's body's in typical rough shape. It's got scratches all over it. Missing a bottom strap button there. Can't really see all the scratches because of the glare. My lighting is not professional. But a couple things that stand out to me that are interesting. On the back of the neck, there's this triangle thing, and that's just a kind of unique little thing I've never noticed on a Washburn before. It's got the subtle V headstock, and then one other thing I thought was a nice touch. On the back of this joint, there's this W, and it's kind of classy for an acoustic of this range. Kind of dig it. Alright, there is no paper label in it, but there's a Washburn stamp right in the middle. Let's get a flashlight and take a look at that closer. Alright, there's that stamp, George Washburn. And then the model number and the serial number is on the neck block. Model number is D-12/N, and the N stands for natural, the finish of the guitar. Model number, or serial number, boy, those are looking like 9s, but I think they're really 8s. When I first saw them, I think 8. It's hard to make out. That's a little tricky, but I'm pretty sure those are 88. 8807601. And then the first 2 digits indicate the year of 1988. Alright, so trying to determine where this guitar was made. I know Washburn's imports originally came from Japan. They were made in the Yairi factory, which you will know from ALVAREZ. They first started being made there in 1974, and they continued to be made in that factory, that famous factory, until the factory burned down. And I cannot find a precise date for when the factory burned down other than the mid-80s. Now, this guitar being made in 1988, I think it's a little too late. It's not going to be made in that Yairi factory, but I believe it was still made in Japan. A guy named Rudy Schlocker purchased the Washburn company in 1977 for $13,000, if you want to know. And he had imports made using a process called lean manufacturing, where he would only order like 200 units at a time, and that kept his surplus down. But it also makes identifying where a particular guitar was made a little difficult. So after the Yairi factory burned down, Washburns were still made in Japan in whatever factory he could find cheapest, until 1991, when manufacturing shifted almost entirely to Korea, to the Samik factory in Korea. So this guitar was made in 1988, and we have to assume somewhere in Japan, not the Yairi factory because it would have been burned down by then, but in whatever factory Mr. Schlocker could have found cheapest at the time. I'm just going to clean this guitar up a little bit. I see there's a crack in the bridge right in the middle. I don't know if I can pick it up on camera very well. Right in the middle of where all the pins go. A crack runs all the way through. The best way to take a look at your guitar and find out any nicks or flaws, any cool stuff, is just to give it a good cleaning. I normally take the strings off, condition the fretboard. This fretboard is in pretty nice shape. It's missing a high E string, but these other strings are still pretty good. So I'm just going to scrounge up a high E